All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. Today is the 6th of December, 2021. Wow. Okay. So here we are. It's Monday. Futures are bouncing just a little bit. I hope you guys watched the broad market analysis. I'm sure you already did. What is the whole theme for this week? It's for the first time in a very long time. I have very few positions on, and even I was shocked. Like I was saying in the write up, I had, I believe, five positions. I was searching, I was looking through my phone. I'm like, where are my positions? And it actually makes me feel really good coming into today. It's probably a sign that there's probably a bottom in, right? And I have to build myself back up, but we'll see. I think I really want to approach the rest of December into the new year with a few positions. Now, saying that, I said yesterday on Broad Market Analysis that I would be sending out quite a few names that have basically pulled back, and they are definitely potentials into 2022. I have a couple concerns, and so I held off on those. I will be charting those a little bit later today, probably 2.5, 3 hours into the session. I don't plan to trade all day. I want to keep this pretty straightforward. And let's go ahead and get into it. So the ES green box, that's where we are. I've left this name in here. Just stay patient inside the box. And that for me is the biggest thing right now is that we are trying to build a base. And in doing so, it can really chop you up. Okay. The bigger picture is on a higher time frame. We're creating some sort of base here, right? Until we start to go ask underneath the lows. So if we start breaking down below that 44.68, then I'll be concerned. But everything that happens in here, in my opinion, is speculation. The market is going to continue to be choppy. We're going to get small spurts of moves up. And in my opinion, if you're long and you're in a position that's doing well, you're trimming. Trimming is winning, right? And the reason I say that is because we are still underneath the EMA clouds and just basic technicals. When price is underneath the cloud or underneath these EMAs, it is resistance until proven otherwise. So you could see that on the left hand side of your screen on the daily. Even though we push into the green box and then start to go bid above, we push right into an EMA and then we find resistance there. All right. And we've done it almost every single day for consecutive days, really. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days where we just kind of bounce right into the cloud. And this is where people start to get really confident that maybe the market's going somewhere. But one of the things that you have to note is that you're making lower highs, lower pivot highs, okay? And so that's very, very important. Let's go ahead and just identify a couple. I get questions sometimes like, John, how do I know which one's a pivot high? To me, these just really stand out. Let me just kind of show you that. That's a pivot. This is a pivot. We got one here and here, right? These candles really stand out to me, and each one of them is a lower high. But inside this green box, we are trying to, okay, see, we had higher lows and then we had a flush. This candle here makes me feel like we had a flush low. All right. Right when everybody was feeling, including me, that we were starting to make higher lows inside this base, we had a quick flush. We basically knock out a lot of stops, and then you see the market start to perform to the upside. So that's kind of where we are right now. Still stuck. And if you were to remove this candle, not that you can really do that because lives were probably, our accounts were lost there. And now we have that higher low here. So what you could end up seeing is some sort of flag being built here, a rounding bottom, and prices start to move up. Now, again, after a big flush in the market, I find that it's hard for most traders to feel comfortable. And I know I always say this, but I want to reiterate, most traders will watch the market move up. They won't feel like they should trust the market until several points in or several days in, and then they're kind of buying back into resistance. All right. Now, the theme is that in everything that we're looking at, whether you trade ES futures or not, If the market or the price of that stock that you're looking at is pushing into resistance, just know that over the last several sessions, buying puts when the market is moving up has been the right thing to do. Now, for me, I personally don't want to go too big on puts because, again, I feel like the green box is working. It's just not very fun. It's stay patient in here. All right. All right, so in the middle here, I have a 4H or the 4 hour, and I just wanted to point out that we're still underneath the cloud here as well. And you could see that, these EMAs, okay? And over here on the right-hand side, just for trading purposes during the day, I'm just using my buy signals and short signals. Right now, we're getting a buy signal, and I would expect price to move up here towards 4, 5, 6, 7, which is your trendy edge, okay? So as far as the ES is concerned, this is your resistance, and we are getting close to opening up into resistance. If we can make higher highs above the yellow trendy edge, then I'm looking for that move into the monthly edge at 4,577. Okay. Now, as far as these edges are concerned, let's go ahead and collapse this a little bit. This is going to be my support for this week. Okay, 45.10, which you could see is within the green box over here. And then my resistance for this week is right in here. 4577 by 4581. All right, I think we're all clear on that. Next thing that I want to look at is oil futures, just really quick. All right, I'm just quickly just letting you know that I'll probably be trading this on the side using my buy and sell signals. SPX, I told you I've been studying this for almost a week now. Now, I don't want you guys to get confused. I've traded SPX several times. I'm just trying to make it more consistent. So there's a couple things that I'm testing, and I may continue testing this week. I'm not sure yet. We'll see what prices look like. They were a bit inflated last week, and so I just don't think that the majority of the community is wanting to trade $4,000 options. And so on expiration days, like 0 DTE days, they tend to get a little bit less expensive, and we might be wanting to look for, towards the end of the day or even at open is fine. But I'm not sure if I want to go in the money or at the money. Again, I'm going to be checking the prices of those. Okay. And simple, I'm just using trendy buy and sell indicators, but I'm also taking into account, what is the trend and what is my overall thought process here. So, for example, the ES is correlated to SPX, correct? So, if the green box is supposed to be my base and we're holding, what I'm looking for are moves up. So I may ignore the short signals for now unless we take out that green box and only pay attention to my buy signals. Okay. All right, so moving across, next one is going to be Apple. I just want to point this out that we're also opening up pretty close to resistance. Apple's fun to trade. The options are tight. I feel like it's a little bit easier to handle rather than big spread options. Equity, across the board, we still use the trendy system the same way we would for equity, futures, and options, okay? And even Forex if you like to trade Forex. But look here on Apple, what we have is that we closed towards the end of the week. It looks like an inside and up, all right? We had a buy signal back here. And if you took that buy signal, for a swing trade, we are continuing to move up here. On a smaller time frame over here on the 4H, I just want to show you is that we're getting close to the trendy edge. Okay, there's this yellow line that's underneath my target. So just like the ES, we're getting very close to opening up into resistance. Now, one thing that's different about this 4H chart when comparing it to the ES is that we're actually above the 4-hour cloud. The weekly is above the cloud, and the daily, I believe. So let's go ahead and get over here and look at the daily. Sorry about that. I'm going to put this on the day on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, we're going to put this back on a 4H, 4-hour. Okay. Yeah, so over here on the daily, we're also above the cloud. So at the end of the day, the EMA cloud is our support, and we're looking for a move up towards this yellow line here, which again is around 164.64. So if you're not trading this pre-market, it's like, where's the risk to reward? This is the way that I look at things. If we're opening up into resistance, I would much rather the price of Apple hit that line, pull back. Let's see if it's going to hold about 20 to 40% of that rally, meaning today's 4H candle. And if it can, then going to swing back around and push right through there. All right. And then we're going to see targets up here towards that 166.33. Overall, Apple's been performing really well during this entire market, which has been really interesting. It's kind of, chose the weirdest time in the market to stay strong. But hey, let's go ahead and keep our eyes on Apple for today. We could find ourselves a trade, but again, opening up into resistance. I'm going to move over here to Amazon. I'm holding Amazon. I have some time on this, and the option itself is cut in half, pretty close anyways, and it came back a little bit towards the end of the day, just like the market. I have 46 days on it. We all know that Amazon can move quite a lot. Okay, and I chose an out of the money option on this because of the market conditions. And I wanted to be comfortable with the position size that I was taking, and I'm very comfortable. And honestly, I'm not paying attention to the percentage of the option. I'm paying attention to the charts. And right now we had a pullback into the EMA cloud, and I would expect to find some sort of relief rally coming into the end of the year. Now notice that we came back to the trendy edge. Let me go ahead and maximize this for you. And this was the target. We had a member here in the room who was asking about the targets for protection, and we gave those perfect targets on Friday. So if you YOLO'd that, or you lottoed it, or you even put a hedge on, you probably did very, very well, as we literally said price would come here and here. And you could see that Amazon came right into the trendy edge, and then it went bid. This was actually a great place to try and add to the position if you were not too upset about looking at the percentage overall. So once again, we found some support here. This is showing me that the future, or the ME, is also in line with the yearly edge. And so this could serve as a really nice support level. Another thing, if you're into candle structure, you can also see right here that we have an inside and up. Notice price came into the inside and up, and we could see a nice V recovery up towards the 36.80, 37.20, and then obviously beyond that, we'll get into targets if it ever gets there. Okay, so that is Amazon. Let's see, action sell on oil. These are just 3-minute alerts coming through. And then next one, that's on watch. I'm not sure if I even put it in the daily focus. Let me just take a look. I did. CRM price came down on the daily and the weekly into this nice little pocket of an inside and up. All right, so just structure. And so what I did was I put a neutral around it, and let me just go ahead and show you why I did this. On the 4H, we got, let's see if I can get this all in here. We got this cloud. See how this is coming down? All right, just like that. All right, so this is all resistance. Price is trying to push up towards resistance, kind of like Apple and like the rest of the market. And, if it can break resistance, this yellow line, then what happens is you can get in here. This is going to hold as a base, and then you can at least, for a risk to reward trade this up into your second set of EMAs right here, and then I'd find resistance. It's very hard trading inside the cloud. It's very choppy in most cases. It takes a really big catalyst, a big macro catalyst to really push price over the EMA clouds. All right. Now, 2 years ago, we had, a POTUS that, really liked the stock market and would tweet about things. So a lot of investors relied on those sort of catalysts, and they would push price through resistance. I feel like the market this year is a little bit sleepy, and we tend to just kind of sit underneath resistance. It feels lethargic. We're pushing up into resistance and kind of pulling back, and everybody's looking for that catalyst that's really going to help the market. And a lot of people are not coming up with much. Okay. But we'll see, and that's why we do the neutral strategy, and why we take these levels into consideration, because they're higher probability levels. But not only that, I want to be a piece of it. At least I do. I don't want to sit and have analysis paralysis, right? That means if you got too much stuff on your chart, you tend to go, let me just give you a great example. You tend to go, well, I'm looking at this neutral strategy, so I don't want to take it over this level, or I don't want to take it until it could break over that. So that's one thing, right? And then maybe by the time price, gets there, who knows, right? Maybe there's like on a smaller time frame another EMA that's right in your way. And you're like, well, if I take it there, then it's just going to resist there and that's not going to work. And then when it breaks through that, you're going to sit here and say, well, it's close to, a level. I'm not sure I want to take it, right? And then all your friends and everybody on Twitter is like hollering and they're super excited. And you're watching this. And when you go back, you go, oh my gosh, the neutral strategy worked, right? And I did nothing. That's usually the case for a lot of traders. Okay. So, what I mean by being a piece of it, you can always start a position, something super small. And that way, if you're wrong, it doesn't really emotionally hurt you or financially cripple you. Right. So, again, starters can be here. And as you feel convicted, you could be looking for ads. All right. Let's go ahead and move on into DOCN. This is a good company. It's pulled back to the 618 on a higher time frame. The 618 level is very important, not only to the stock, but anyone that might be stuck in it long. Over to the left, you can see that price came into an inside and up. All right. So you found a bounce just like the rest of the market on Friday. And then here on the 4H, you are pushing up into resistance. And so again, we have that same theme going across the market today, folks. We're opening up into resistance. Here's my thing, right? Whether you're a bull or a bear, when things are going well and you're on the long side, and every time you come down to that cloud, you're thinking, buy the dip, buy the dip. At some point, things tend to wear out, right? They get exhausted. Like people are like, okay, we can't just keep buying the 4 hour cloud. It just doesn't make sense. And then one day we break through that cloud, we break through the daily cloud, and things get ugly for bulls, right? So today it's starting to feel a bit exhausted, and I kind of, told you about that on the BMA. Like, how many times are we just going to kind of pop into resistance, then drop? At some point, somebody with more money will buy, and that's what we need in the market in order for price to go up. Somewhere, somehow, somebody's paying more for that offer and price starts to push up. And at that point, start moving through those clouds and then those clouds will become support. Okay? So it's more about patience if you're not getting that tone from me. Maybe starters, some patience. Look for your support down and to the left. Look for those previous lows. Are we holding those? Are we making higher lows on the time frame that you're picking if you're long? And if we are, then you just kind of stay suit. And then as you get conviction, you can build up. Now, for you traders who are looking at the short side, you're opening right into that higher probability that's really worked out for you every single time. So price is pushing right there where most of you who are on the short side would look at adding into your short position. Just think about that, okay? So there's always one side for somebody, all right? So you got to appreciate that. At some point, if that cloud breaks, as I was saying for the bull side, then I would start to think maybe you're on the wrong side. But until then, folks, it really is just all speculation at this time, as I do think that it's going to take a little bit of time to know whether or not we're building a base for a move up or if we're just kind of getting ready for that next drop down. Lots of speculation. Don't diddle in the middle, really, is what it comes down to. All right. And we're pretty much in the middle. All right. Let's go into the next one here, which is DocU. Look at this chart. One day you're sitting at 300 folks. The next day you open up at 130. I mean, this happened on Friday, but you have to be disgusted, right? If you're a trader and you were, told that this is the best company since whatever, this is frustrating. I just want to share with you, when I first started trading, this is the kind of stuff that happened to me. And this is what really pushed me to become a better technical trader. Because no matter what people told me, I got people in my ear, and I still have people in my ear that I consider really good friends who are like, hey, the fundamentals on this company are X, Y, and Z. There's no way that this shouldn't be trading at X, Y, and Z. So I take the trade out of confidence, feel like, hey, this is a great long-term trade. But you know what? 2021 was the year of great valuations until December 1st. And December 1st, that whole Santa rally has really been a kick in the face for anyone who's felt like, hey, I'm in the right company, right? Now are you kind of sitting there thinking like, wait, was all this a big joke? Not necessarily. I think that the fear and greed, the P call, the skew, everything's showing me that the majority of the market is really scared. They're fearful. And for me, this is opportunity, folks. This is where you want to be thinking about layering in very slowly, but be patient. We're not in a big rush. I want every one of you to start the new year off the right way. Okay? The right way just means, for me, that means not too many positions, building, looking for the best setups I can, and just start from there. All right. Anyways, you guys have a really good day. Good luck to everybody. I'll be going over again. I'm looking at some Goldman Sachs. I'll be watching this. HD looks really nice. It's up $5.73. Matter of fact, folks, I can't make this up. I gave you this when price was up here. Okay. Price did pull back for you during pre-market. It literally hit my target and has pushed up since then. So a lot of you who are trading these charts pre-market, congratulations. You already made some money. Don't forget, trimming is winning. We'll see you guys soon. I'm going to stay on here. I'm going to keep it pretty quiet, really focused. Again, good luck to everybody. One of my biggest things, again, is that I'm trying to, if you notice, really be impatient with my losers. Okay, if they're not doing well, I want to try and close them pretty quickly, especially if they're weekly options. A little bit different if it's a swing. Okay, if it's a swing, then my concentration is on weekly and monthly charts. Okay, if you have any questions, make sure you guys ask me. Please participate in chat if you have the time. If you have ideas, I strongly encourage you not to create any kind of FOMO or fear. Give a trade plan. It doesn't have to be as thorough as mine, but give a little bit of content behind it. If you're bearish, just say where price is going, where your stop is, and you never know. You can make somebody a lot of money. Or if you just kind of come in and create that FOMO or fear, and then you create it and people follow that, they don't really have anything to go off of. And sometimes that can be the worst thing for our members and our community.